Hey, it's Alexander. I'm here with Alex from Business Mentor Insiders. We've done one of these interviews before, right after Alex joined. What was it last time, Alex? I think it was your second month that you made like $30,000 in your second month in your business, right?
Within 1 month or so. Yeah, I think it was the first month.
Okay. And now we've been at it for what, 10 months, 1 year?
We are 11 months. Yeah, close to 1 year. Yeah.
Ooh, exciting. Always like these 1 year updates, or almost 1 year in this case. So what's going on with your business right now? Like, what was your last month like, for example?
Yeah, things have been going well. I mean, it's been 1 year in business, but it feels like 10 years of experience gained. Last year we hit 50 plus K revenue, and with some very good profits. I think
Per month, right? Because people are watching
per
this.
month, for sure,
They
per
could
month.
assume that it's yearly. So just,
We are more we measure per month for sure. So yeah. Yeah, with some very good profit margins. So I mean, last year, I couldn't even imagine I would be in this situation. So yeah.
Yeah, and then now I think you're at 60 now, right? Per month now.
Yeah, we hit 60K per month last year and
Last month,
last month, April.
Yeah. There's a lot of corrections here, but that's okay. It doesn't even matter. I mean, honestly, 50, 60, who cares? But still, I mean, the difference matters, because here's why it matters. Because it's double of your combined revenue from the previous interview. That's why it matters, right? And it sounds nicer, to be honest with you, but it's also a milestone because it's fairly consistent now as well, which is very rare in business. And I was like, damn, Alex is doing so well. It's double of his like previous interview best month. So now we're really gonna do another interview to see what changed, like to see the difference between what an agency does to get to 20, 30K compared to 60K, right? So that's why it's interesting. And maybe this year, at the end of this year, maybe we're gonna do 120K.
Sure. Yeah. I'm keen.
It's everyone responds like this. Yeah, I guess that's possible. And then they get there faster than they expect. Happened to Stan, happened to Paras, happened to Amiano, happened to Luis or Lucas, one of those two. So, and some other guys. So
Yeah.
I think it's viable. So I'm looking forward to that interview. But for now, the 60K interview, okay, the Alex 60K interview. So what does your agency do exactly?
So we are a web design and web development agency, mainly focusing on e-commerce design and development. Of course, the market has been great. Everyone moving during the pandemic, everyone moving online. So we've been focusing on delivering more unique, more customized solutions in e-commerce and particularly Shopify. That is a primary offering. Of course, we also do web app development, which helps with creating backend operations for merchants.
Okay, so e-com development, including backend development now. I don't think you were doing that last year in when you started, right? Or was it always custom and backend as well?
Yeah, so well, last year I was a freelancer, right? So I was just doing some custom backend web apps myself, like doing full stack, dealing with one client at a time. Of course, shifted focus to more e-commerce, marketing focused, and then plugged into my knowledge of web apps and backend development into that. Because turns out that big brands, big merchants do need more integrations in the backend, so it plugs it very nicely.
Interesting. And what has changed? Like, what has allowed you to get from 20, 30K to 60? Like, what are the changes, if you were to give a timeline, perhaps?
Good question. Actually, there were a lot of things, a lot more things than what I predicted or what I expected. So it was like, big learning curve for myself to learn about business, sales, lead generation, but then of course delivery, because at the very start you deliver based on you take a risk, of course, and you deliver based on what you know. But now we are positioning ourselves as experts on what we do. So there's been learnings on every aspect of the business, including sales, lead generation, delivery, and of course customer service, retention, and we have repeating customers coming back for projects again and again. So
Right, right. And is your team bigger?
Sure. Yeah. So the team has grown from, I guess, zero because we're working with freelancers to having 8 full-time members at the moment. Developers, designers, project manager, testers, lead generation, assistants, and yeah, and the team has been growing, and the plan is to grow more to deliver that specialized service that we offer.
Okay, and mm, hmm, and the I think the profit margin last year was about the same, if I remember correctly, right?
Profit margin was it was tricky. So I have to say, I mean, first months in business is really hard, in my opinion. From my experience, was really hard to really see the profits. It felt like there was ups and downs, which were kind of balancing out the profits. But now, after having consistent months of big revenues coming up and always beating the previous month, I think the profits are really showing up now. But in terms of the profit margins, I think they're getting better because we have a full-time team, so our cost is really low.
Okay, and how did you learn how to get the full-time team? Right? How did you go from freelancing to full-time? Like, how did you learn it? And then how did you implement it perhaps as well?
Yeah, so how did I learn? I mean, I've never hired a person in my life. I've been hired, right, back then. But how did I learn it? Well, I had to follow some advice from people that have done it before. Of course, people that run 50 plus member teams and agencies. So try to find, more cost-effective resources is not the easiest thing out there. It's very easy to find someone that you can pay a lot locally, and they will do a job and have good collaboration. But at the end of the day, there's no profits. So yeah, it was a matter of finding good advice on finding the right resources and the right price. And it was just a lot of trial and error, but also getting advice from proven methods of sourcing team members.
Hmm. Okay, and who did you learn this from? Like people with 50 staff? Like who is that?
There's definitely, so there are some of course mentors in BMI that run big agencies, and of course there are 10 you know 10 years ahead of us in business years, I guess.
Not really. I
And
mean, he's not 10 years ahead of you, right? He's the person
true.
you're referring to has been in business for 4 years, I think.
4, okay,
I
okay,
think
then I'm off. It seems, if someone that's just starting, they're probably going to think that it's been 10 years, but for sure, like yeah, even 4 years in business is a lot, in my opinion, from my experience. So yeah, just following a proven track record from other members, even if they're just one step ahead of you, there's always learnings to be taken.
so. The mentors that helped you, how did they start and build their business?
Yeah, so I mean, the mentors seems like, of course, they were there from the start in BMI, and they launched the business because of BMI, from what I know. So followed a proven process that other members have tried, and of course, defined their own processes, and that's created the BMI community, which of course helps myself and a lot of other members.
Okay, yeah, it's kind of like a hive mind in terms of knowledge because everyone brings in their own opinion after their business is successful. For example, now maybe you're in a position where you have some process that's better than what other members have. Maybe now you can like help them sometimes if you want. That's an opportunity that is available, right? You learn by teaching sometimes. Certainly, a lot of the most successful members in BMI learned by teaching as well as running a business. But basically, like I don't invent the processes. You invent some. Well, we all invent a little bit, but we're competing against each other with the processes, right? There's the standard process. There's always an update to the standard process based on other people discovering new things. That's how BMI works, right? So the mentors you had, like the ones running 100K per month agencies and above that, right? They started a business based on processes that they improved, and then others helped them improve it from the community as well. And then you had the benefit of joining a little bit later, so you had everything already, right? So that's why it went a little bit faster for you than some other members from a few years ago. So that's kind of how it goes. So what are some skills that you've learned specifically in the last, let's say, 6 months?
I think the very first thing is how to get clients, right? That's
Yeah.
the most important thing, and something I was missing as a freelancer, and of course as a business owner to be, or like want to be business owner, I was, trying to run funnels to get agency clients, but like run ads and stuff like that. But first thing is like knowing where to find your clients and going actually to where they hang out. So I think that's the number one skill I learned is go where there's more demand. So lead generation, pretty much, that's number one skill. Second skill is, okay, you've got your clients, you've got your prospects, your leads. How do you get them to be your clients, right? It's not an easy process. So sales, of course, that's something I've been working on, and it's like I'm still a rookie in this. So of course, trying to improve these with the guidance of mentors and, on my own kind of learnings and courses and everything. And then of course there's delivery, right? So platforms and technology always changes. So staying up to date, finding and sourcing the right talent. I think that's been the key for the past year for me. So being able to build a team that are actually better than me, can deliver better results than me, and at the same time, me being able to get us the best our best clients that we can deliver the best results. So it's a combination of all those skills.
Okay. And how many people have helped you with sales so far?
Yeah, so I feel like I could say, a number like 2 or 3, because there is some, excellent and sales mentors in BMI that have regular calls. And every time listening to the calls is just I learn new things. So it's amazing. But apart from that, there is like of course, the community, the group, that there's always, input from members, they're killing it, or they fail at one sale, or they succeed in one sale, and they talk about the learnings. And that's always something that I take in and I try to implement, right? So if it's something that succeeded, try to implement in my own way. If it's something that failed, is look at my processes and see how can I adjust so I avoid that. So it's pretty much, avoiding trial and error in many, many aspects.
Interesting. Okay. And what are other people's growth like in the group? Like when you look around, you're like, what the hell is this? What's going on in there apart from yourself? Like, are you the exception to the rule, or I don't know?
No, people are killing it in general. I mean, I'm really happy to see every time new members that joined a month or 2 months ago getting new sales and getting, up to hitting the goals, because it's all about, hitting the goals. Like, of course, they're not going to hit 50K a month straight away. So they hit the goals, that the more realistic goals. But also I see people that started very close at the same time as me, and we're killing it together, right? So maybe we're competing a bit because it feels good, and why not?
Who started at the same time as you?
Lucas is
Oh,
mentioned as
Lucas.
well.
Okay. Oh, he did. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, sure. You can say that. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I don't know much, but of course, like it feels good. Like it feels good to just know that there's the same people with same background started at the same time, killing it at the same time, both following, the proven BMI process, but of course, implementing in our own way. So it's really cool.
Okay. And how did you fix the consistent profitability issue? How did you fix, like, what are some things you implemented there? Like profit
Good point.
first, what type of stuff did you do? Like our
Profit. Yeah, profit first is something that I started implementing from the very start, based on, of course, recommendations from people in the group. Of course, like there were months that it was tricky to implement, it was tricky to maintain. But I think what really ticked me over was with profitability is getting paid upfront and making sure that there's always an advance payment before we deliver any kind of work. And yeah, like I had no issues implementing that. Of course, clients were happy to pay upfront because there was proof that we're delivering good results. We were, of course, having a lot of testimonials and case studies. So yeah, and that gave us that cash flow boost that we needed. So and then that, of course, allowed us to get cheaper resources, less cost, more profit. So
interesting. And like, are you working in multiple funnels, or is it just still the first one that's active?
yeah, believe it or not, it's still the first one that's just
Still one funnel. 60K.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty good, actually. That's decent. One funnel, 60K is really good, actually.
Yeah, so one funnel, Upwork, it's been giving me, of course, giving us all our current clients. But I think what another funnel that we've got is referrals. So of course we focused a lot on delivering good results, and clients keep coming back, referring us to other clients. And so yeah, we've got referral funnel and Upwork running at the same time, which is great. Looking into expanding into new funnels and really scaling this in the next month or so.
Oh, okay, okay. And what are you basing the growth path now on? Like, you have certain momentum. What is the plan to get to 120K? Like, what type of stuff are you going to do? Maybe a second funnel, but what else?
So definitely increasing prices, focusing on more premium service, which justifies bigger prices, improving sales skills and sales process, and then focusing on volumes. So volumes involves getting more leads, which could mean multiple funnels, but also that would require, I guess, another salesperson jumping in and assisting with this. So building out a sales process. And of course, then the backend operations. So being able to deliver better. And what we've been working on in the past few months is really solidifying our processes. So our service has been really good because clients are happy and keep coming back, but we want to maintain that even if we scale. So from what I've seen from previous members and other businesses, usually as you scale, it's really hard to maintain quality. So we will be really focusing on this based on other people's experiences. So, yeah.
Okay, cool. So 60K, congratulations, good progress. Can't say 7 figures. Maybe you should have done this at 7 figures. Does anyone care if it's 60K or 83K anymore? I don't know. But the next one is over $1 million. Okay.
Over $1 million, yeah.
Over $1 million. maybe after like not in the first month, but after like a few months of that,
few months, just have a proven record, yeah.
yeah. Because otherwise, like, we're not gonna wait a whole year. That's a little bit silly. But it's a few months of proof. I think that's enough proof. So that's really good. And what would you recommend to agency owners that are looking at this and they're like, oh, well, what can I learn from other agencies? Let's say people are already at 60K. Should they join BMI still? Is it worth it? Or?
For sure. I mean, I've seen members in the group that, join at that point and they scale to, double the numbers. And, it's not just about getting started. It's also on how can you be more efficient? How can you improve profitability? How can you maybe implement your business in a different way so it's less of a headache, easier to manage? So I've seen all the different types of business models in BMI, and it's great for people that are more critical thinkers. So of course you're going to get a lot of ideas, but it's great if you can actually look at that and make your own decision based on your experience, based on what you like, what suits your preferences. So that's what's really worked for me. There's a lot of opinions, a lot of ideas, a lot of ways of doing things in BMI, but I think just getting inputs from everyone and really observing, of course contributing as well. Myself, I really want to contribute more. But yeah, the inputs for everyone is really formed what my company is currently doing and what we at the level we are actually at the moment.
What I've heard from members who've joined, they're already at 200K per month with their agency. So they're like, at a very high level, you could say. For an agency, it's a lot. With a high profit margin, it's a lot. But what I've noticed that they said is they have access to all these agencies and all the processes, right? And as you said, there's competing ideas. And that is like having all kinds of board members on your team. It's your decision, it's your business. They don't decide. You are the only decision maker, but you have access to their thinking. And as long as you contribute, they'll contribute back. For example, we're doing a call, which you almost can join, but not quite. But we're doing a call next week just for 7-figure earners, for example, right? So like that's going to be processes for just that type of business at that level, right? Whereas for beginners, it's just the stuff they need to focus on, which is like lead gen, etc., right? The basics. And as you've said now, you're still doing a lot of the basics, and you just scaled the basics to the level where you're doing 60K with one funnel. That is the basics, right? Like hiring, etc., is not the basics anymore. But the funnel is still the basics. So mastering the basics at a good level, if you hadn't done that, you wouldn't have a team because the money would be coming in, right? So for an agency that's bigger, that's coming in, it's a matter of implementing new funnels, but also other processes that have already been proven by hundreds of agencies. That's the value for them. plus the mastermind effect, and learning from peers that are like a little bit ahead of them and stuff like that as well, right? So that's kind of my opinion on that.
What is the mastermind effect?
Oh, it's just when you have a bunch of people working together in a small team, they do similar things, they exchange ideas, there's brainstorming and exchanging of processes going on, and a little bit of friendly competition, and then there's a competition of ideas as well, right? So when you have all this, then you're not one person solving one problem, you're multiple people solving multiple problems, which results in new ideas being created, new processes being created, right? In a more efficient way. And I'm not like, BMI was first just me doing these calls, and then people are like, Alex is doing a call, but now I'm doing maybe 2% of everything, right? So to the point that some people are like, who is that guy? He's always like messaging everyone. Like, okay, but but basically, like the mastermind effect is it's what's allowed BMI to become what it is now, and also the agents, all these agencies, 6-figure agencies to be created, because I can't do it myself. You can't do it yourself, unless maybe in many more years you would have been able to, but who knows? It's just much more efficient to think with a team, using the same processes, and then our conversations can be very relevant, whereas talking to generic business owners of various kinds is too varied and imprecise for what we need as agency owners. So
yeah,
what is the mastermind effect? It's all of this.
Yep.
You could say. So yep.
I get it. Yeah. I mean, I remember myself like really being against masterminds because.
Oh, you were?
No, not against, but I was like.
But that's okay. You can be against masterminds, dude. You think I'm not against most masterminds? It's
No,
there's a lot of stuff out there that I'm seriously against. Like the whole thing of coaching coaches to coach coaches. Fuck that, man. For example. But what were you gonna say? Sorry.
I was gonna say that I was against it because of own personality. Like, I wasn't a very open personality. So I was like, okay, it's gonna be a lot of people kind of competing, and it's not. But like, BMI is different. Like, I feel like there is friendly competition. There's a lot of exchange of ideas, like very freely, and of course mentors that of course are more instructed on doing things in a specific way. There's a bit of
why are they helping you? Why are the mentors? Have you ever wondered? Are they what are they doing? Why are they helping you? Why is a guy who makes 200K helping you?
I know why. I don't know. I have wondered. Yeah.
Because they joined, they got the same help from someone like them who was ahead, right?
Yeah.
That's why. That's it. There's no other, like, that's it.
Exactly. And I guess it's because, usually they're helping people that are not on the same level as them. So it's not direct competition or anything like that.
But it's not competition, man. Like once you reach a certain level, it's not about like, oh, this competition, whatever. Like they just keep growing all the time. It doesn't matter. Competition, whatever, it doesn't really matter. And plus, there's not too many of us. If it was 3,000 people, I would understand. There's not too many of us. So it's designed in a way where it's not really like internal competition is very limited. It's there's like a few little things every year, like two tiny little instances of people saying, oh crap, that's actual direct competition. But other than that, it's kind of us competing against the general market.
Yep.
Right. That because the knowledge and the processes are more valuable than like this tiny little chance that you have tiny little competition sometimes. So that's what we figured. And if it wasn't the case, there's no way they would just be saying, I paid for a program, I'm getting out of here. We don't even let people into BMI like that, by the way, right? Like who just like walk in, they're like, I paid for a program, you better teach me. Like, of course we're gonna teach people, but this is a community, first and foremost, right? That's why the program works. That's what the program is based on. That's how it's created. It's not one person creating it. That's the whole point of it. That's what a mastermind is. But we don't call it a mastermind because it has negative connotations. I'm just saying we use the mastermind process. The closest thing is a community, I guess, entrepreneur community.
Community is much better. Yeah, I mean, it does feel more like community less than a mastermind.
I think we're good here unless you have anything.
Yeah.